everybody, thanks for coming back. We are servicing for a big day today. We're finishing black beans and moving right into soybeans. So, oop, don't fall. Hopefully everything goes smoothly. Look at that dust. Man, this black bean dust is unbelievable. So we're just doing some fuel, cab air filters, fixing the sickle up. We got trucks hauling from what we harvested yesterday. And they're gonna come back. We're gonna fill them with what's on the grain cart. Hopefully by that time, the sun's out. Granted, it's cloudy. And we can go combine.
Already not going smooth.
Why?
It's not good.
Broken?
In the worst spot.
In the worst spot. That's just how it goes. Old Glory didn't like the wind yesterday. It broke the pole clip. So I gotta go out there and give it the respect it needs. Hopefully I don't get hurt. How better? How better? Suppose we better check the oil. Perfect. Loading tube looks good. These beans in this field are actually some of the best, maybe not yield wise, but best harvestability. They're all even, they're ready. Perfect moisture. Not that many weeds. So I'm glad that ain't an issue.
You having fun?
Drunk.
Come on. Love of God.
Is it not metric?
So you were totally missing a guard.
What? You can tighten these?
Yeah, I'm not done yet. This was gone. Without the guard. I never took one off.
Oh boy.
Yeah, so whatever you're doing, keep it up.
So this is where it all starts with the combine. The bean stem comes through here. This is going back and forth, cuts it off well. Also, little pebbles, rocks get in there, metal, and it snaps them off. Well, then it don't cut there, and you'll start stripping the beans there. So, very important part. If you see them broke like that during the day, you generally stop, do a quick in-field repair. But I didn't catch it, so we're fixing now. Look at all the dirt in here. Well, sun's out. We're fixed up. Trucks are back. It's time to go. What are you doing?
Looking what is left of my pickup from duck hunting. Looks like I've been in the ditch. Oh, yeah. Missing part of my running board. Plastic ain't built like it used to be.
Alrighty, we are ready for the day. Hopefully everything hangs together and we can finish black beans and get into a soybean field. We'll be, normally where you started planting is where you'll start harvest. Just makes sense, right? Not this year. We will be following the drought, corn harvest and soybeans. Some of the last planted stuff actually will be harvested first because it dried up and the plants said I'm done. I'm done, and they gave up. So we will be starting out west, I guess. Well, would you look at that? We're almost done. Nothing very exciting happened to show you guys. Just going back and forth. Everything's been going good. Looking very much so forward to being in soybeans there. So yesterday we were out Sunday afternoon. They were 14 to 16. They're now 13%. And we are splitting them beyond belief. We learned why you don't use a grain cart. It was good because we did capture them at their prime moisture and allowed us to get 2,000 more bushel harvested yesterday, but we did get docked worse on those load and a half of them. So that's why you don't use a grain cart in black beans. They do causes more splits. They're very delicate, very delicate. But I'm looking forward to getting into soybeans here in another hour and a half and have a grain cart. That's going to be exciting. And then get into some soybeans. The field we're going to, we got to be very careful because that's the one the track blew up on the sprayer in, and there's going to be lugs all over, and we've had that happen before, and they love to go in a combine and make some really ugly sounds, so we got to be careful about that. Hopefully we see them and find them, but I think the beans out there are pretty drought out, so it should be short enough where we'll be able to visibly see them, hopefully. Well, here we go, guys. First year raising black beans. It's in the books, right? About now. Woo! That's a good experience. It is definitely a lot more tricky than any other crops that we've raised, but long and the short of it, I'm glad we raised them. We will probably continue raising them, but it is a lot more work. Rudy, what are you doing? So, unload, get the heads off. We got to do a couple of changing some speeds on the combine to go to soybeans, speed some stuff up, and get on the road. Waiting to unload the last of them. There's Grandpa going the landlord's driveway, and then he's going to take the 5-foot wide bad wing and mow down that massive patch of weeds out here, which is probably like 4 acres. So he's going to be here a while, but we got nothing but time. Rudy, what are you doing? Jerking her? Oh my goodness! Trying to get it as clean as possible. It's not as big of a deal going to soybeans from black beans. We don't have to do the flushes and everything. Because they're just going to the elevator. It's not that big of a deal, hopefully. So loud. Okay, straight back. Just a little bit more. Yeah, that's good. Alright, you're hooked up. Maybe get it in the straight. Get it straight. Hold you back. Alright, we gotta fold the unload auger. Remember from last year, when he's straight, the unload auger has to be unfolded a little bit to pull it behind. Otherwise, when you turn to the left, the auger hits the reel and could cause some serious damages. Yeah. Maybe could go in. Yeah, that looks good. Right there. I'm gonna check my mass flow sensor, scrape the 1/2 inch of mud off of it so it reads soybeans correctly. That is a good idea. You know, this poly liner worked pretty good. Nothing really works great with the mud. But in here, right in here under this cover, there is a little pad that when the grain comes up this conveyor here, I'll show you when I get it open, it slaps against that pad, and that's what is telling how much yield is coming in the combine and tells you your yield? Well, it packs full of mud, which then basically through black bean harvest, it's all over the board and you really can't go by the mass flow sensor. So right in here, I don't know if you can see it, is the little thing. Well, the mud sticks onto it. This ain't actually all that bad. I've seen much worse this season. Get in there and clean that off. And then through soybeans, we should be good. Never had to clean it off ever in my life until raising these. Back to the grain cart pulling her. All right, turn her towards the ditch, pretty sharp. Keep her coming 5 more feet. 3 feet, straight back, 1 foot, yep, we're good. Okay, so all we did was change the rotor to high range so we can get more RPMs out of them, because we were running 280 to 300 rotor speed. Now we're gonna go maybe that 500, 550 rotor RPMs for more thrashing power. The front feeder house, I might have to put a different socket on it if they don't feed properly, but we will know by if I'm slugging my feeder house. Feed accelerator, we have got swept back wings on it. Everyone I've talked to at Deere said it should work just fine unless you're in like waist tall green beans. Then you might run into trouble, but they are definitely not waist tall and definitely not green. So I'm hoping it goes smoothly. But we're out of here and moving out west. The train is here! Woo! Keep her going. Are you ready to be the super carter again?
Oh yeah, I'm back.
He's back.
Lift the head up, tilt your feeder house back. Now it's coming in.
Gosh, I forgot how well that works. Now he's going to get out of my way. I'm going to spin around. I'm going to cut off a little bit on this headland, so Brody, he's pulling his head. He can whip in the field, unhook, hook up to his head. Works pretty seamlessly, actually. Really nice.
Okay, so we're in soybeans now, obviously, which means full-fledged grain cart in use. Something I've been waiting for. Chet is opening up the headlands. Yeah, I'll check. Gotta look for losses. But Chet's opening up the headland. I pull his head, which we've unhooked. Brody then has the other head behind that combine, just like last year. And he'll pull in with the space that Chet's making for him. I'll help him get hooked up and then we'll be going. These beans are 09s, I believe. They were planted a little later, but they are short. It's not the most impressive crop, but it's something that is ready, and we need to start taking beans out because we got a lot of acres to do.
Well, I found them, or some of them. So far, so good. Just kind of getting them dialed in here. Or mine. Brody hasn't started yet. I've got one pass down the headland. 12.5 moisture, so too dry. You want them at 13, but that's the way soybeans go. They just get too dry. But look at this. That would have been bad. And they're just littered everywhere. What are we gonna do with them all? Look at this. Does that look like that was adhered to the track properly? I think we got a bad set of tracks on that thing. Oh, I'm gonna need a basket. Every one of them looks like it wasn't adhered properly. Well, I'm not gonna say I got them all, but I'm gonna walk back, combine up to where I stopped here, and then maybe walk ahead more if I see more. but I got them. It was mass deconstruction of the piece of equipment. They're everywhere. Flew like 6 feet off to the side. I just threw them out here. I'm gonna pile them all up and then Eric can come get them with his rock box. 28 of them. I got 2 piles. At least it's an even number. I'm just gonna assume that there's an even number on the track, but I'm not guaranteeing you I have them all. Man. All right, well, we're combining, mowing down the beans. Unfortunately, this is the drought area, as I mentioned, and we're looking at maybe 45 bushel beans. Now, the only good thing about 45 bushel beans is you can combine them quickly. So 5.5 miles an hour seems to be doing a pretty good job. Cutting great. So Dad, next time he comes out with a truck, is going to bring the pan so we can throw behind these things. It's hard to tell what's head loss and what's coming through the machine until you get out there with the pan and throw down. But it's looking pretty good. I'm used to combining like yellow stemmed soybeans that are just very tough and slow going. So this is a nice change. Granted, I wish that nice don't pay the bills, but it is what it is in a year where you don't get rain. All right, last pass for the first field of soybeans. We're just gonna jump across the waterway and do another 70 acres, but it's going pretty good until I blew my air hose to my air reel, which I am noticing immediately. That's actually how I realized it blew, was it stopped feeding nice and they start riding closer to the sickle, and I went through a short patch. I'm sitting here trying to adjust my air like what's happened, and I looked over in the big rip in the pipe. So actually those flexible pipes, which they gotta be flexible because the reel moves forward and backwards, the actual dust in the air going through that pipe and the bends, every couple of years they actually wear the rubber out, and then it explodes like what just happened. So yeah, I am realizing once again why we have the Prairie Wind system on. I would never ever own a head without it on, especially in these short drought stress beans. You go through the low spots or crappy bean spots and they just fall right out. So we're into a different field. I don't know if you can, does the camera show it? See these green streaks right here? There's 2 of them, and right there, and really throughout the whole field. So that's actually where the beans got planted into the quad track where the digger was working the field at an angle. Brought up a bunch of mud balls, dried out. Once we finally did get rain, they started growing after all the rest were obviously growing, so they're just behind. So we're gonna grind them through. Some green ones in there, I don't like it, but the rest of the field is ready to go, and we are sitting at right at 12.8, 12.9, so it should blend out good. I think that's it for this video. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed it, and we'll see you in the next one.